Okay, Wildcats, everyone, journal page 60, exponential decay. Select the graph of the exponential function f of x equals 1 divided by 2 to the x power by plotting points with x values -2 to 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to this. So we're going to do 1, and actually we want table. So table, so when x is -2, we're going to do parentheses 1 divided by 2 to the -2. Okay, so that's -2, 4. Let's press the home screen to get back. -2, 4. Okay, and then that's when x is -1. That's 1 divided by 2 to the -1. So -1, 2. 0, 1 divided by 2 to the 0 power is 0, 1. And then 1 divided by 2 to the 1 is 0.5. And then 2 is 1 divided by 2 to the 2. Okay, 0.25. Okay, let's go ahead and graph those points. Go ahead and write them down first. All right, so -2, 1, 2, 3, 4. -1, 2, 0, 1, 1.5, 2.25. All right, so all right, there's your graph. Let's take a look at the next page. All right, example 2. Describe the transformation from the parent function and give the domain and range of the function. When g of x equals 1/3 to the x plus 8, step 1, the graph of g of x to the 1/3 to the x plus 8 will be the graph of f of x equals 1/3 x. The transformation is translated units up. Step 2, the domain of exponential is always -infinity to +infinity, and the range is y greater than 8. Example 3, describe the transformation from the parent function. Give the domain and range of the function. When g of x equals 1 divided by 11 to the x plus 2, the graph of g of x equals 1 divided by 11 to the x plus 2 will be the graph of f of x equals 1 divided by 11 to the x, translated 2 units to the left. The domain of g of x is -infinity to +infinity, and the range is y greater than 0. And the reason for that, the range is, this is plus 0. And the range is always this number when it comes to exponential. Right? Example 4, describe the transformation from the parent function and give the domain and range of the function. When g of x equals -(1) divided by 10 to the x minus 5 plus 2. Step 1, the graph of g of x equals -(1) divided by 10 to the x minus 5 plus 2 will be the graph of f of x equals 1 divided by 10 to the x, reflected across the x-axis, translated 5 units to the right, and translated 2 units up. The domain of exponential is always -infinity to +infinity, and the range is y less than 2. And the reason why it's less than is because it reflected. All right, last example. Describe the transformation of the parent function and give the domain and range of the function. G of x equals 3, 1 divided by 5 to the x plus 7 minus 8. Step 1, the graph of g of x equals 3, 1 divided by 5 to the x plus 7 minus 8 will be the graph of f of x equals 1 divided by 5 to the x. It's vertically stretched by a factor of 3, translated 7 units to the left, and translated 8 units down. The domain of an exponential is always -infinity to +infinity, and it's y greater than -8 for the range. Go ahead and finish it up, start working on your assignment, and have a wonderful Wildcat day.